This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have seen how to go with the Hibernate application, how to develop Hibernate 6 version. This is important. Hibernate 6 version have a lot of changes compared with older versions. The methods, everything has changed here. So for that, we have created one Maven project. Then in the Maven project, we have added the project dependencies. One is Hibernate dependency and one more MySQL connector. Then we have created one project class. We have created a project class, and after creating project class, we have created the mapping file. The root tag of mapping file is hibernate-mapping. The main use of mapping file is to map our project class with the database table, project class properties with the table columns. Then, and we have created the configuration file where the root tag is hibernate-configuration, where we have loaded the database connection properties, provide the dialect details, then HPM to DDL data as creator update. Then finally we have to refer to the mapping resource. Then we have created utility class mainly to get the session factory. So by using session factory only we can create the sessions. So session factory is for database connection, session is for database transactions, right? And we have created one test class where we have inserted a student object into the table. So in our table student info, use Java 08, our database name, select star from student info, wherein totally 2 records in the table. Today let us go with the next part, very important, CRUD operations. If you are good with CRUD operations, 80% of the project is done for us. So what is this CRUD operation? C means create. Create means insert command. R means read, means select command. U means update, update command. D means delete, delete command. For this, for insert, we have already seen the program student insert.java. For student select, let us go with the code student list.java. Update student update.java. And for delete, student delete. Already we have done with insert. Now let us go with update operation. Now let us go with update. Now right click on com.hibernate package. So we have created under src/main/java. We have created this com.hibernate package. Under com.hibernate package, create a new class student update. Student update with main method. Now, here first step we have to get the session factory. How to get session factory? So simply say session factory sf equal to, by using hibernate util, call the method get session factory. So that's the reason we call utility class. Utility class means what? Reusable. So here I'm going to use this get session factory multiple times. So whenever you are going with the test applications, we have to get the session factory. So to get that session factory every time, instead of writing this piece of code every time, we are creating one utility class with a method get session factory. That's a use here. So that this code will become reusable. Now, next go with the session s equal to sf.open session. Then begin the transaction. These are common steps in the test programs. S.begin transaction. Import the package for transaction org.hibernate transaction. Now let us see the method 1 to update. Method 1. So how to go with update operation is just to say like this: student stud equal to s.get start get student.class and provide the primary key value 111. So this meaning is select star from student info, the table name, where SNO equal to 111. This is the internal meaning of get method. Get method means select command. So it's going to pull out the record with primary key 111, and that record will come and store into STUD object. So in the older versions like 3 version, 4 version, here the typecasting will not done automatically. Here we have to the get method return type is object. Prior versions get method return type is object, and we use it to do the typecasting here like this. We use it to do the typecasting, but this is not required in the Hibernate 6 version. So the conversion will happen automatically based on the class name you provide. So these are the features added in latest versions. Then once you get the object, now for this 111, see the marks we are having 500. Now we want to update to 550. Then how to do that? Just to say stud dot set marks 550. Now by using session object, call the method merge here. Call the method merge and pass your object. That's it. So start update. You may see this method also. It's start update stud prior to Hibernate 6 version. So prior to Hibernate 6 version, we use it to use this method. A start update method we use it to do, but from Hibernate 6 version, the method has been changed to what here? Merge. The method has been changed to merge here. The methods are different. Concepts remain same. Only the methods have changed. Right? Why I'm giving these details? Because if you go with because most of the websites, or if you go with YouTube, you will be seeing this type of codes only. Hibernate 6, you won't find much more in search engines like Google. So that's the reason I'm giving even older version code for your reference. Now by using session object, once you call merge, the object will get updated. Then commit your transaction, close your session. Now see when we run, it's selecting the record and updating the record. And if you check your table, see for this 111, the marks are updated to 550. Now let us see one more way of doing this update operation. Method 2. This is using HQL, means Hibernate query language. Hibernate query language applied on model. Model means the class, not on table. I'll explain what is this applied on model. So when you go with this HQL, here we use mutation query. Here we go with what? Mutation query. Query equal to start create mutation query. Create mutation query. And go with the query here. Update student. Look similar to SQL. Update student. Set marks equal to colon marks, where sname equal to colon sname. Now say here query dot set parameter marks with 650. Then query dot set parameter sname with Ramu. So how the query will become now? Update student set marks equal to colon marks. Colon marks will be replaced with 650, where sname equal to colon sname. Sname will be replaced with Ramu. So previous case for Ramu the marks are 600. Now we want to update to 650. Now once we set these parameters, then call the method query dot execute update. That's it. The record will get updated. Now see, when we run, see it's updating the record, and if you check your table for Ramu, the marks are updated to 650. Then what is the difference between method 1 and method 2? Method 1 is based on primary key. Method 2 is your own condition. Method 2 we can go with our own condition. Then what is this applied on model? Applied on model means here the student. So don't think student is the table name. See, our table name is what? Student info. But here what I am using, student, means it's a class name. These are Pojo class property names. These are Pojo class property names. See here, table column name is stud name. But here what you are using? S name. So that's the meaning called as applied on model class. So it's related to the class name and property names of your class, not on table name and table column names. That's the meaning of applied on model. Got it, everyone?
Updating the table only, right?
Yeah, final update will be happening in table only because your class is mapped with the table, right?
Yeah.
Your class is mapped with the table here. Final update should happen in the table only. That's the main thing of Hibernate, right?
Correct.
Right?
But we are using update on class instead of table. That's what you
Right.
said.
We play with objects here. We play with objects here. That's the reason Hibernate is object oriented. Everything we play with the classes and objects, not on the table related. But finally, the results will be shown on table because we have to play with table finally. But instead of going with the SQL commands, here we use Hibernate related methods, the Hibernate API to the process here.
So
Complete?
until the execute update statement, it takes only the class.
Right.
When
No. Here, when you call execute update, then the object will get updated. The object will get updated after updating, then that record will be persisted into the table. The record will be updated in the table.
okay, the object is updated and then it's applied to table during execute
Right.
update statement. Is it right?
Right.
Okay.
Everything playing with objects and classes here. That's the main objective. Because these codes will not change when you change database also. If you are working with JDBC, if you change the database, again we have to go to JDBC code and modify our SQL commands. Because SQL commands may differ from database to database. Some syntaxes may differ. But when I'm going with Hibernate, whatever the Java code I'm writing, this will remain same for any database. In future, if you change the database, what I should do? Just to go to configuration file and change these properties. That's it. I need not touch our Java code. That is the main thing of object relational mapping, ORM frameworks. Got it?
So yeah. So HQL is recommended than using the other method you said. Method one.
Nothing like recommendation. Nothing like recommendation. It depends on the application. If you want to go with primary key, we go with this get method. If you want to go with other conditions, then we use HQL.
So get method is
Depend.
only used for primary key, not the other columns.
No, it's only for primary key.
Oh, then it's a drawback, right?
How come it will become a drawback?
If I
So
want to
when you
update
want to,
multiple records.
see, for example, I want to update salary of an employee whose name is Ramu.
Yeah.
Then is it will it become a drawback now? Whoever having the name Ramu, their salary will get increased. So
Uh,
salary should be based on primary key, right? Employee number,
correct.
right? It depends totally. Depends on the query what you want to apply. Got
Okay.
it now?
But always it
Right?
should be a primary key, which you have to go forget.
Yes. It depends on the application. It depends on the application what you are writing. It depends on the query what you are writing.
Okay. So will it throw
Got it?
error if I give any other thing? Like logic wise, it is wrong. But if I give instead of 111, if I give some non-primary key, will
Error.
it throw error?
It will go with error. It won't identify
Uh,
because here automatically it will search with SNO only. This one. Did I
Okay.
mention anything about SN1? No. So it automatically takes here.
Oh, the syntax itself of get is
Primary.
uh,
Primary.
name primary key.
Primary key.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. So where to apply this second level? For example, uh, uh, I'm shifting all the employees who are in finance department to HR department.
Okay.
So what we'll say?
So
There in that case, department equal to finance and
finance,
update department equal to HR. So
correct.
now who are in finance, they'll get updated. That is a place where we go with second case.
Okay.
So that's the reason I said it depends on the application, the queries what you are writing.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Let us move to the next one, delete. And one more thing I missed out. So that if you go with any older versions, this is period Java 6. Why I'm going with Java every time. Hibernate 6. I'm doing Hibernate 6 for the first time for your batch only. And that's the reason I'm keep on going with Java 6. So period Hibernate 6 version. We used to try use query here. Query equal to s dot create query. Then this will remain same. This will remain same. That's it. Okay. Instead of mutation query, previous one is query here. Got it? If you see any older Hibernate versions now, don't get confused. Now,
Hi, sir.
next, yeah, S please.
Uh, I just wanted to know that we changed the names in the Hibernate 6. So is it, are we getting any gain in the performance or in terms of anything else?
Yes, performance. Main thing is related to performance only.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let us go with the next one, delete. Student delete, main method. Now, get the session factory. Let us see method one of deleting. So, just to create object of student, equal to new student. Now point to the object which you want to delete. So primary key only. It is based on primary key. So I'm referring to 111. Now by using s dot, call the method remove and password object. So period s dot delete. Period Hibernate 6. That method name is delete. Now they have converted to remove. That's it. Now commit your transaction, close your session. So when we run, it's selecting and deleting. And if you check your table, so 111 has been deleted. Now method 2. Here we'll create object of student stud equal to s dot get student dot class based on the primary key 222. So this is based on primary key. Now the record with primary key 222 is now present in your object. Now by using session object, call the method remove and password object. That's it. This is one more way of deleting. Both are primary key based only. Selecting and deleting, and if you check your table, now there are no records. Now let us insert some records into table. Insert into student info, values. So first it's going with column marks, no? So 500, comma 111, comma name. 600, 222, the name. 700, the name. 333, and the name. So we are inserting totally 3 records. So we are writing 3 records. Now we want to delete the records whose marks are greater than 600. We want to delete the records whose marks are greater than 600. Means multiple records, multiple objects we want to delete. So what is that one? Third case. Method 3. Deleting multiple persistent objects. For this, we have to go with selection query. Selection query student query equal to s dot create selection query from student where marks greater than or equal to colon marks. Where marks greater than or equal to colon marks, and say here student dot class. So which type it has to convert. Import the package here, selection query. Now say here query dot set parameter marks with the 600. How the query will become now? From student where marks greater than or equal to 600. Then now when the condition is not based on your primary key, then is there any chance of getting multiple records?
Yes.
Yes, right? Then
Yeah.
so how to manage multiple now? How to manage multiple is when you want to store multiple data, we go with what? Collections. So in collections we use here list. List student list equal to call the method query dot list. Call the method query dot list. Import the package java.util.list. That's it. Now based on the query, we get the records from table, and that is now connected to student list. Now traverse your list. For student stud colon student list, then so it is going to pull out one object from student list, stores into stud object, delete that. S dot remove that object. That's it. So in our example, this for loop will repeat for how many times? 2 times. These are the records we get that will come and store into this student list. I'm traversing and deleting that. So when we run, so it's deleting the records, and if you check your table, we are left out only with 1 record now. Clear, all of you, how to go with the delete operation based on primary key and based on your own conditions? Right? Now, let us insert some more records into the table. Insert into student info, values 600, 222, and the name, comma 333, 700, 333, the name, comma 800, 444, the name, 400, 555, the name. right? We are having totally 5 records in the table. Now let us go for select command, that is display operation. Student list. So right click on package and say new class student list with main method. So here session factory sf equal to hibernate util dot get session factory, then open session. Transaction not required here. Transaction is not required because transaction is only for insert, update and delete only. Now, so here selection query student query equal to s dot create selection query from student and pass your student dot class. Import the packages. Now say list student, similar to previous one, list student list equal to call the method query dot list, which is going to pull out all the records from your table. Now all the records are now present in student list. Traverse it. How to traverse? For student stud colon student list, then print the object student. That's close your session. Now see, when we run, we get the list of records on your console, but it's printing class name along with hash code. So what I should do to get the readable output? Which method need to be overridden?
ToString.
Okay, very good. ToString method. So go to your student class and override the ToString method. So whenever we print objects in SOP, here we have to return the student number space student name space marks. So when we run, we get the list of records on your console. See here. So whenever you are printing object in SOP, when you print object in SOP, which method will get invoked automatically? ToString. So whichever the class object you print, go to that class and override ToString method. Right? So these are the CRUD operations. Please practice this. Very, very important. Now, let us move to the next one. This is also very important. This only we use more. Concept remains same, but we are going to go with one more new one, using annotations in Hibernate. What is the use of annotations is when annotations are used in Hibernate, we need not create Hibernate XML mapping file. That's the advantage. When we use annotations, we need not create what? Hibernate XML mapping file. One file will be totally reduced. Then, so we are having the basic Hibernate annotations. They are @entity, @id. These two are mandatory annotations. These two are mandatory. And we are having other annotations like @table, @column. Let me explain this with the example application. Employee.java. Hibernate.cfg.xml, updated, employee test. Java. This we need to run. Right click on com.hibernate and say new class employee. Concept is very simple. So here we go with the properties like private int employee id, private string employee name, private int employee salary. Setters and getter methods. How to generate? Right click and say source, generate getters and setters. Select all and say generate. Now, so in the previous case, once you create a project class, we use it to create mapping file. But when I use annotations, no need to create mapping file. Then how to map this employee as the table? So for that, we use annotation @entity. We use annotation what? @entity. Then this class will become table in your database, maps with the table employee. Now, to make this employee ID as primary key, @ID. That's it. These two are the mandatory annotations. These two are mandatory annotations. Now this employee, the table name will be mapped as employee, but I want to change the table name. Then we use the annotation @table name equal to employee info. I'm changing the name of the table to what? Employee info. Then, now I want to change the column name also. Then we use @column name equal to, I'll go with the name employee underscore name. I'm just adding underscore symbol here. So I want to change the column name also. Then we use @column annotation. That's it. Import the related packages here. Once we create this Pojo class with the annotations, now there is no mapping file. Then what I have to do? You have to go to your configuration file, hibernate.cfg.xml, and here what we have to do, instead of going with mapping resource, we have to say mapping class here. Mapping class. What is the name of the mapping class? com.hibernate.employee. So this piece of code we need to add in your hibernate.cfg.xml. Okay, clear? I'm keeping this code for your reference. Got it, everyone? Very simple. Then now go with the test class. Create a new class, employee test with main method. As usual code. Now get the session factory. SF equal to hibernate util dot get session factory. Open session. Begin the transaction. Now create object of employee. Set the values emp.set employee ID, emp.set employee name, emp.set employee salary. Now the object is ready with values. Now by using session object, call the method persist and pass your object. Commit your transaction, close your session as usual code. Only the advantage, we did not create the mapping file. Now so when we run, it's going to create the table employee info and insert the record. Check your table now. Select star from employee info. See the table name has become employee info and see the column name emp underscore name. The column name say here emp underscore name here. Right? Clear all of you? How to go with annotations? So we use more of annotations. Okay.
So it is creating the table and inserting a record in the table, right?
Record. Because we have used it what? In the configuration update. So when you say update, will this update will create table for you? Update will create table if table does not exist?
Yeah, it drops
Yes,
and
right. That's the thing. No, it won't drop. Only create will drop and create. Update will not drop. Update will use existing table, but if table does not exist, then creates. See the
okay.
console. In console, you have any drop command? You have any drop command? Drop table? No. Directly it is creating table because it's not present.
Oh, okay. So I want to just confirm. So for every Java file that we are creating, we need a CFG file, we need HBM file, we need a Pojo Java file,
This is project class.
Pojo
Not
class.
for every project. This is only one.
Sorry.
Configuration is only one. This is
Okay.
your test application. So if you are having 20 project classes, we have to create 20 project classes, but we create only one configuration file.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
For every class, for every table, one configuration file should be there, or for everything
No. For complete project, one configuration file. Only one configuration file for the complete project. Here only we'll be keep on adding mapping resources, mapping classes. Connection will be only one.
Oh, okay. So all the tables will be listed one after the other, like which are used.
Whichever the mapping resource or whichever the class you are referring, just we need to keep on adding over here. That's it. This piece of code will remain same.
When you are joining two tables to write a query, that time the Pojo class will have both tables get set methods.
Yeah. So two separate project classes you create and you add both the project classes over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Let us move to the next one here. Generating primary keys. Generating primary keys. So here we are giving the value to the primary key, right? We are giving the value to the primary key. Okay, in the setter method, by using set employee ID, we are giving the value. Now this primary key value should be generated by your Hibernate. Okay, so that is the place where we go with this generating primary keys. So for this, we use the annotation @generated value annotation is used for the primary key generation strategies like the following. They are generation type dot auto, generation type dot identity. Current two things, generation type dot auto, generation type identity. Okay. Now when you go with this generation type auto, how to go with this one is @generated value strategy equal to generation type dot auto. So what this is going to do is, when I use this annotation, the primary key is auto based, means this will give the primary key values like 1, 2, 52, 102, like this. We don't know what value it's going to give. We don't know what values it gives. Then okay, then this will create a sequence. With the name employee info underscore sequence. The name of the sequence table will be employee info underscore sequence. I'll explain this. To create a custom name for the sequence. Use the following annotation. So to go with our own custom name for the sequence, we have to use annotation @generated value Saturday equal to generation type dot auto comma generator equal to employee ID generator. This will become our own name. This will become our own sequence name. Okay, so let me explain up to here. So let us delete this table, drop table, employee info. I'm deleting this. I'm deleting this table. There are no records. Now, let us come back to the program. Let us come back to the program. Now I want to generate the primary key. This is your primary key, but I want to give the value of primary key by your Hibernate. Then what we have to use annotation at the rate generated value Saturday equal to generation type dot auto generation type auto. Right now, import the package. Now run your program. Just have added only this much. Now run your program now. So this is not required, right? I don't want to give primary key value now. Now see when we run, if you check your table now, select start from employee info. See, it's giving employee ID 1. It's giving employee ID 1. Then now check here, show tables. When you say show tables, you can see one table has been created. See, employee info underscore sequence. Now if you see, this only we call sequence. Select start from employee info underscore sequence. Then see what is the next value it is taking. See 51. So the next primary key value will be now 51. Check it here. If you go back to the program and change and run the code. Now I am going with Ramu 9000. Now see when we run. Now check your table. There are 2 records. This one. There are 2 records. Okay. It has taken 2 only. It has taken 2. No worries. It has taken 2. Then let us run the code. Check it. Check it one more time. Run the code and check it one more time. Now see it has taken say 52 now. It has taken now 52. If you run the code again, see the value what it has taken 102. Like that it goes here. Okay, so we cannot expect what value it is going to take over here. So when you go with what? Auto. When you go with this auto. Now what is the sequence name it has created? This is the sequence name it has created, employee info underscore sequence. Now I want to change the sequence name. So when you want to change the sequence name, what we have to use here? Comma generator equal to employee emp underscore id emp id generator and say one more annotation at the rate sequence generator name equal to emp id underscore generator then initial value equal to 1, then allocation size equal to 1. Means the meaning of allocation size is the number should get incremented by 1 only. So 1 2 3 4 I want to go within what sequence? Initial value is 1, allocation size is what? 1. Means 1 2 3 4 like that it continues. Now check it here. Let me drop table employee info, drop table employee info underscore sequence. Now come back to your program and run this code now. So when you run, see the value now select star from employee info. Sorry, let me run the code again. Now, here when you check your table, select star from employee info, so it has given set 2. Okay. Now, if you run the code again, see the value what it is going to give? 3. If you run the code again, see the value what it is going to give? 4. Like that it continues. And see the show tables. See the table name emp id underscore generator. The sequence name has become emp id underscore generator. If you see, select star from emp id underscore generator. See the next value, see it's going with 5. So it goes with sequences here. It goes with sequence here. Okay, so to go with sequence, we have to use this annotation at the rate sequence generator annotation we have to use. Okay. So let me even document for your reference. Now the name of the sequence is emp id underscore generator. To generate the primary keys in an order like 1, 2, 3, etc. Use the following annotation. Just use this annotation. Clear up here about auto? Right? Please recap this. The next one, identity. This is very simple one. Use it to generate the primary key values. Starting from 1, 2, 3, etc. Auto increment. It goes with what? Auto increment. We need not do anything. No settings are required. Just to use here at the rate generated value that is equal to generation type dot identity. Okay. So in this case, sequence table will not get created. When we use identity. In this case, that sequence table will not get created. Now check it here. I'm dropping table employee info, drop table employee id underscore generator. So show tables. There is no employee info table here. Now check it here. Now come back to our test class. So here, let me keep this code in comments for your reference. Now say at the rate here the value is identity. Now see, when you run your test class, see, check your table now. Show tables. It has created only employee info. No sequence table has been created here. Now if you say select star from employee info, see the value employee ID 1. Now if you run the code again, if you run your test class once again, then check it your table. Auto increment. This is called as auto increment. If you run the code again, check the table, auto increment. Okay. So in the case of auto, the primary values we don't know, and a sequence will be created. A sequence will be created. Whereas in the case of identity, it goes with auto increment 1 to 3, continuous 1 to 3. And sequence table will not get created when you go with identity. Got it, everyone? Any questions? Right, please practice this. And tomorrow we'll go with the next framework. We'll enter into the next framework, very, very important one, Spring framework. We'll start with Spring from tomorrow onwards. Thank you all.
Thank you, Raj.